Working in the sewing room right now, doing one of my favorite activities, working on a beautiful binding. Yes, my friends, I do binding services over here. So do not hesitate to request binding. I can do strip binding like I'm doing right now, applying it to the back and then stitching it over to the front, or I can do self binding where I'm going to take the backing fabric itself and roll it over to the front. Working on Sandy's quilt of valor right here that she's giving to a dear friend who was in the service and is going to get this beautiful one. Thank you for your service, my friend, for doing that. Sure do appreciate you serving our country. Let me show you some things about binding that you might find interesting. I've shown them before, but we're going to go over it again because there's a lot to it and I have a lot of tips to be able to share. Hit the arrow down below. It will take you to more of Sandy's quilt being stitched out. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram, and let's talk about sending a quilt over here to Brenda's Quilting Studio. Now let me see how much I can fit in this video. One thing I want to show you is I do not press my binding in half the long way, and I literally just let it sit right down there in a little pile, and I just pull it up as I go. I have done this charming little stripe right here and connected it at the diagonal, and I'll show you right here. Look at how nice that's going to look. It's going to look gorgeous as it gets attached on there. I do like to leave a little bit wider seam given the option because it just is going to make it a little bit more secure. I've come to the corner here, and let me show you again what I do at the corner. I've stitched to about 1/4 of an inch of the edge of that corner right there, and then, so I can get my hand up on this side, I'm going to bring this section straight up so that the raw edge lines up with the raw edge of the quilt, and I'm just folding it in half. I do not press it in half. Let me see if I can get this down here and not block your entire view. And then I'm going to line up the raw edges, and I've got this like little triangle here. I'm going to start 1/4 of an inch in to avoid a lot of the fold that I put right in there. I will do a little back tack right here and continue straight down. I have an area on my presser foot that I know is the right distance to be able to create the right distance of a binding on the other side. When I get finished, I will know that that's going to be the right amount. I also increase my stitch length from a 2.5 to a 3, and the reason I do that is because I have a lot of thickness to go through, and you need to compensate with that with all of your stitches right here. That's going to make a beautiful little corner. When we're ready to turn it out, there's not going to be anything getting in the way.